Hi there, Brian Castle here. I'm the founder of Clarityflow, and today I'm talking to Will Helliwell. When I connected with Will initially, his website was Notion Dad, and he has repositioned his coaching service to under the name productivedad.com. So we actually talked about that. It was a really interesting conversation. The discussion of his shift in focus from working with clients to help them set up Notion to helping them set up the software ClickUp. Very similar to my conversation with Jason Resnick, it's an interesting idea to kind of attach a coaching practice to a very popular piece of software. And Will has been doing that effectively lately with the ClickUp software. We also talked about Will's balancing of his day job with pursuing a side hustle in launching a coaching practice like this. He actually went from teaching guitar on the side to this sort of helping teams implement ClickUp and Notion and being more productive. So it was a really interesting conversation. I hope you enjoy it. Here it is. It's my conversation with Will Helliwell. Enjoy. Will Helliwell, thank you for joining me. Great to meet you today.
And you, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so as we were just discussing offline, I'm just trying to talk to as many different types of coaches and people working with clients in really interesting and unique ways. And your website and your work really just stuck out to me. I think it'll be interesting to hear how you've been getting into this space and the different kind of changes that you've been making in your business. So I know that you've been, recently going through like a rebrand, and maybe we can talk through that and kind of hear it. What I really love in general is like working in public and hearing about changes that are happening now or as close to real time as possible. I think that's always really interesting.
Yeah, I share everything on Twitter. Everything I'm doing is all in public.
I love it. Yeah, I do the same. That's really cool. All right, so I mean, why don't we just start it off the way that I've been starting most of these interviews off with? If you can tell us a bit about what you do, but from the context of what a client sees. So maybe you have a recent client or two. Who are they, and how do they come across your work, and why do they engage in services with you?
Sure. So my clients recently have been all about ClickUp. So it's mostly solopreneurs or maybe some small businesses who have got ClickUp and gone, oh, this is complicated. Like, how do we set this up? Or they've maybe tried themselves and it's all gone into a bit of a mess. And so they find me or see my stuff on Twitter and they come to me and they say, can you tidy this up? Can you give us some best practices? Can you help?
Hmm.
And so I sort of do, an hour call, or they can book a few at once. And I go through sort of giving my knowledge. So a little bit of backstory, I use ClickUp in my day job. So I'm sort of in it 7 hours a day. And I think that gives me kind of real world evidence, let's say, real world, like things that are happening. So I can see stuff and mistakes that I've made. And then I can kind of move that on to the client and say, hey, here's the mistake I made. Don't do that. So that's helpful as well.
Very cool. All right. So there are so many different threads that I would like to pull on here that I think could be interesting for folks. I mean, I recently spoke to Jason Resnick on this podcast, and he is a coach who specializes in helping people set up and implement ConvertKit, the email marketing tool.
Yeah.
So that was a really good example of someone sort of like attaching their coaching to a really popular tool. And in your case, you're doing it with ClickUp. I think that's a really interesting pattern that a lot of coaches can really get into.
Yeah,
I think we can also get into like your like balancing the day job with coaching, which usually is kind of difficult because calls and coaching sort of need to happen at different hours. But maybe we can get into both of those.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the last thing, I don't know the order that we'll get into them here, but like when we first connected, you were more focused on Notion, and then the recent change to ClickUp. So why don't we actually start there? Like tell me a bit about this, the current change that seems to be in real time here for you.
Sure. So the reason I've changed, so in my day job, it started off at the very beginning, we were using pieces of paper. Like I was in the IT department working in a literal basement, and the team upstairs would bring down little squares of paper and say, "This is the ticket. Can you work on that, please?" Like, yep.
Wow.
Okay. That was the
Old
system.
school.
Yeah. And then we tried out a few things over the years. I think I've been there like 9 or 10 years now in that day job, and tried out a few things. And then I saw Notion came along about 3 years ago now, I think it was. And I was hooked. Like, this is amazing. This is cool. Let's all use this. Let's stop with these other silly tools. So we used it for a while, and I just found it was too free. You could do so many things with it, but it also meant you could break it really easily. And
that, I think so many people have had that experience with Notion, and I took so many years of kind of hating on Notion for that reason. Like I would open it up, I would love the way that it's designed, and then I'm like, I don't know how to organize this. And then I put it down for another year, and then I try again, and then I put it down, and maybe like the third or fourth round of that, I was like, you know what, I think I could get at least this current company organized in there.
yeah, I think if I was using it just myself, like what I'm doing for myself at the minute, I think it would be fine. But because I was trying to use it in a team, it would break a little bit, and then I'd have to go in and fix it, and I'd just always be maintaining it. And we were working in sprints, and sprints weren't a thing in Notion at that point. Just you had to build your own sprints. So every week I would have to go new sprint, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Let's do something else. So I went searching and found ClickUp, and it was built as a task manager and a project manager. Like that's what it's for. Rather, Notion is kind of everything. What do you want to do with it? ClickUp was, here's your project and task manager. Oh, and we do docs. It's like, okay, perfect. Let's try this. So
yeah, nice.
I've gone through the experience.
I had the same experience with ClickUp too, where it was like while I was dabbling in Notion, I was like, you know what? I think I need more structure, and that's where ClickUp seems to be strong. Like it actually does dictate like this is how things should be structured. And then I kind of wanted more of the loose like wiki style stuff for the current organization in Notion. So
yeah.
Well, I'm curious. Like, okay, so I understand like the difference in or like the reason, especially if you're working with a team, to move from Notion to ClickUp. But for you as a coach and working with clients, why did that make more sense?
For that reason, it was because I was in ClickUp all day. So as Notion started progressing and they started adding new features, I couldn't keep up. As I was trying to manage 2 apps, and one of them I was in all day, and the other one after work, I was like, oh, what's the update now? And it was just too much. So I thought, to help people with what I know, and that was ClickUp. Like I do know Notion. I do still help some people with it if they need it, but I'm trying to just shift everything across to ClickUp now and say, I don't do Notion anymore. Hence, I've got to change notiondad.com to something else.
So your website was Notion Dad. Do you have the new website?
I've got the new
name at least.
Yeah, I've got the new domain. It's theproductivedad.com.
Okay.
So
good. So you're not totally tying yourself to one.
Exactly. And then I can talk about more things. I can talk about parenting and how to do this kind of stuff. And like right now, the little one, I just did bath time quickly. I've got a 2-year-old girl. So bath time's done, did her teeth, and then it's over to mum to do bedtime. So it's, those kind of things I can talk about as well.
That could be interesting, productive. I mean, I like for like family vacations, I've like organized the calendar in Notion and share it with my wife and like show the itinerary. Like, okay, that's cool and all, but like, what time is the flight leaving? That's the only thing I care about,
Yeah, have you got your passport?
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of your clients, like what types of people or businesses have this sort of need to hire a consultant to help set up ClickUp?
So most of it at the moment seems to be like solopreneurs or entrepreneurs with like really small businesses. And they just come to me and they've either tried ClickUp or want to move off of Notion maybe, and they need some more structure, or they just want a fast track in. Instead of going through all the documentation, they just want to know, how does it work? Can you set it up for me? I'm busy. Please do this.
Got it. So solopreneurs, like, is there any commonality in the types of businesses? Are they like software or freelancers, agencies?
Agencies a little bit. I'm thinking the last Notion one I did, so when I was still working in Notion, it seemed to be the Notion clients were the bigger ones who wanted big, complicated systems. But again, there was no real commonality between them. And now ClickUp, the commonality seems to be they are all solopreneurs or very small teams of people. There doesn't seem to be anything quite connecting them yet, but I'm recording, obviously, all of the consultant calls I do, I'm recording them, and I'm trying to find right now like a common thread between them. What is the most common thing people are asking about? And then with the idea of boosting that knowledge and maybe productizing it at some point. But yeah, but then I can target, I'm like, oh, these people want that a lot. I should probably go and find more of them and help more of those people.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely helps to niche down. I guess it would also help with the delivery of the service if it's like a predictable, everyone can even use the same templates or the same like packages
Exactly.
every time.
Yeah, would really speed things up, and I think I'd be able to help them more because I would really know that niche a lot more. Like my niche right now is because I'm on a software development team, sort of. So my day job is I build telephone services in Python. So I'm in this IT department. And so that's really what I know. I work in sprints. Everything's estimated and sized. So that's what I know. And that's kind of the people I'm trying to target who also do that. But if somebody gets in touch and says, hey, I need help, I go, okay, I'll help.
Interesting. So yeah, like tell me a little bit about how you, well, okay, I have a question about this because I got into this with Jason Resnick about how he works with ConvertKit clients. You know, anyone can just go to customer support for ClickUp and ask like, how does this button work? Or how do I do this or that in the software, right?
Yeah.
What would be like the difference between someone just going to the actual company's customer support versus working with like a consultant like you to get in there and work together?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. One of it is it's a lot more custom. So you can ask for best practices, where I feel like support, they're going to tell you how things work. But if they might not say, you know, okay, you're a software team, maybe you should work in 2-week sprints, not 1 week because of this, that kind of thing. And then I think there's the prep as well. So if you know you've got a call coming up, then you have a whole itemized checklist. These are all the things I need to do. This is what I'm preparing for them. And then at the end, you can deliver some nice PDFs or some ClickUp docs, which is really handy, and give them all the information that they've been requesting in a really nice way that then they could give to their team. Whereas support is, hey, I have a problem.
It's like you're like literally being productive with them. You're helping them actually implement stuff. Whereas an email to support is just going to sort of like link you to a doc and all right, go figure it out.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. Hey, just a quick break to tell you about Clarityflow. It's the software tool loved by coaches and their clients for communicating asynchronously in threaded conversations using video, audio, or text. My team and I designed Clarityflow for the modern day coach. It lets you give clients a single place to engage with you and all that you offer through your coaching business. Run coaching groups, cohorts, and communities using our Spaces feature. Create interactive courses using our Programs feature. Build your coaching library with templates and reusable content. And sell access to your coaching programs with subscriptions or one-time payments. Customize colors and connect your domain to give clients a fully branded experience. You can use Clarityflow on the web or our mobile apps for iPhone, iPad, or Android. And connect any other apps using our Zapier integration. Start with a free trial or request a personalized demo and consultation by going to clarityflow.com. So how do you deliver this? Like what does a typical engagement look like? I think you mentioned it a little bit, but like when a client reaches out, what's usually the first thing that happens? Do they get a single call with you? Is it live? Are you doing asynchronous? What does that look like?
So normally they'd reach out, DM on Twitter, or they'll send me an email. I'll send them a link to, so my tech stack at the minute is, I think I'm using cal.com to book calls. So I'll send them a link to that and we can have a 15-minute, half an hour discovery call. But then there's different options there. So there's different links I can send them if I think, oh, they do want something big, I can send them like an hour-long discovery call. So it'll be, have a call, find out what their needs are, and then I've got a template in ClickUp where I click a button and it gives me all of my proposal documentation and all the steps I know I need to do to work with a client. So then I'll send them a proposal based on what they've asked. And inside there, it's also got some, just more customized details about their project, and say, hey, is this okay? Send them a document to sign. And then this is the bit where I was actually really interested in Clarityflow, because I feel like I need to onboard them somewhere. And onboarding them at the moment is I can onboard them to ClickUp, so they have their own space in ClickUp. But ClickUp, when you get it, it looks complicated. So if you've not used it before,
why they hire you.
yeah, exactly. So they're hiring me to help with ClickUp, and then I invite them to ClickUp, and they go, but I don't understand what's good. This is all, yeah. So I feel like I need something more simple. I've tried out Slack as well. So I've got a Slack group that I can talk to people on. But again, that it's too everywhere. There's not enough structure. It's just they'll send me messages at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'll feel like I need to reply to them.
Yeah.
So
Also the thing with Slack is like the messages get easily lost, especially if they're like several weeks or months ago.
It relies then on me
is where
linking it to a task and setting it all up.
Yeah. And also I think they expire too. Like the search, and especially for something like what you're doing, where it's like, oh, we hired that consultant. They helped set this thing up, and that was like 2 or 3 months ago. But what was that thing that he showed me? I can't remember where it was or what it was. I'd love to be able to pull that up. That's where having like an archived conversation and messages. Obviously, I'm partial to Clarityflow for that sort of thing, but like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So the delivery will be at the minute like a Notion space or a ClickUp space that I've built for them, and that's delivery, and the link will always be there and working. Yeah. But yeah, it's disjointed at the minute. So I'm still building, still learning, still searching.
Cool. Okay, so when they get onboarded, you're like, what needs to happen as they get started with you? And is it all leading up to like a date on the calendar, like that Friday the 15th, that's the day that we're going to get on a live call and work out your ClickUp setup? Is that basically how it works?
Yeah, so there's two real systems. There's the get on a consultant call and you book it in. You select the time. So with cal.com, it's like Calendly. They select the time, they pay up front. There you go, sorted. I'm free, and it's done. And they can they get linked to a form where they can enter some more information and email address and everything. So they can send me all the details that they need. So that's one bit. And the other bit would be building out spaces. So for that bit, it's a bit more involved. That's when you need the proposal, and you need the start date, the end date, the deliverables, like what's going to happen, when do you need it, and what does success mean? Like there needs to be something that says this project is a success. That's one of the key things.
And so that's an actual project where you're sort of working in their ClickUp account alone and like setting things up for them and organizing things, and then like near the end you'd sort of like present and train them on what you've organized.
Yeah, exactly that. So it'll be a bit more, depending how long the project is, but a bit more. There'll be like 3 stages of, okay, you told me what you want, I'll build it inside ClickUp. I can then share a link with them and they can just duplicate it to their space. The same with Notion, or I can build it inside their space if they're happier with that, and then get feedback on that. So there'll be like 2 or 3 feedback sessions until the final delivery date when it's training. They all kind of know how it works by then anyway, so away they go, hopefully.
Got it. Yeah, and what does the training actually look like? Are you getting on like a group call with their whole team? Are you giving them recordings that they can share with their team? What does that look like?
So most of it there'll be weekly calls that I can have with the team or with one person, but I much prefer doing recording videos where it's structured. I know exactly what I'm saying at the time. They can ask questions afterwards. But yeah, async is much more preferred. And then I'll do it in, I don't know if you've heard of Descript.
Sure.
So I'll do it in Descript, and then I'll either just send them a link to the Descript video, just like you would with Loom. Or what I found is if you upload a video to a ClickUp task, I don't know if it's intentional. Well, they've said, yes, that happens. I don't know if it's intentional, but the link to the video is public. So even if the task is not public or anything, the link to the video is. So I'll do a video, Descript, or just straight onto the MacBook, upload it to a ClickUp task maybe, and then send them that link. So then I've got a list of everything I've sent them. Or
Got it.
finally, ClickUp Doc, put the videos in there, and so then they've got everything in one place. They just go to one link. It's all there for them.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how Clarityflow would work too, is where you can have like a whole lineup of videos all in one place, and they can even reply to them. But it's also like you can make it visible to the public so that like their teammates who aren't even in Clarityflow, they could still access the videos and everything.
Yeah, I was watching some
Um,
Clarityflow stuff on YouTube today to prepare. I thought it looked very cool.
oh, nice. Let's see. So yeah, why don't we talk a bit about the balance of working in the day job and taking on this coaching stuff. I'm curious, like when did you start doing the coaching on the side?
So my daughter is 2.5 now. So it would have been just, I think I started before she was born,
So if
actually.
having a 2-year-old was not enough, yeah,
that was the
you added
incentive.
a side hustle.
Yeah. But
Okay.
that was the incentive. Well, again, backstory, I've always had some sort of side hustle going on.
Hmm.
I started as a guitar teacher when I was 18. So I dropped out of college because
Oh,
I was
nice.
like, "Ugh," that's when you were still allowed to in the UK. Now you have to stay, I think, till you're 18 or something. But I dropped out of college and I went to music college instead and played guitar for 2 years, which was very cool and good fun. And then from 18 up until still now, was teaching guitar. So I did that
Oh, wow.
and worked in function bands. And that gave me the taste of, oh, you're going to earn money without having a job. Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then I got a job. And so
A
I've always had that itch to
little bit
do
more
it again.
stability.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah, daughter comes along. Before that, I was like, we're going to need money. We're going to need to do stuff like pay for things. Nursery is a whole extra mortgage at the minute. It's crazy
Mm.
expensive. So I thought, right, I'm going to start this thing. I created a new Twitter account called Notion Dad because I was all in Notion at that point and just started it from scratch because my work, I tried to do something on the side before, but it was kind of directly competing with my day job, which is not advised.
Mm.
Don't do that. And they found it. And so since then, they were watching my personal Twitter. And I went, okay, I won't do that again. Created a new Twitter. Let's do that again. But
Oh,
nothing to do with the
interesting.
day job, really. It's more, yeah, just helping people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
Did you ever do and I'm a lifelong guitar player too. I've never given lessons, although I did when I was a kid to the kid down the block, but that was about it. How like have you ever offered lessons online, like remote over video like this, or is it always in person?
no, it's always been in person. When there was lockdown, I decided instead of offering it, I would just have a break, like just
Hmm.
relax, which was
Yeah.
lovely. But no, it's always been in person. And that was back in the day, that was kind of my thing. I would go to their house rather than them come to me as well. So I would always have a
Nice.
portable gear. I've got an iPad, plug the guitar into there. I've got a little speaker, sounds lovely. And that was my kind of selling point. It's like, I'll come to you. You don't have to do anything. So
That's great.
that was good.
Um, so I mean, well, okay. You said that your daughter, you said, or
Yeah,
son?
daughter. Yeah.
I have 2 girls as well. So that was like the inspiration to do like a side hustle like this.
Yeah, it was the main incentive. And then you realize this is a lot of work. So, it's still,
Do you did you pursue that as like, okay, this is sort of like something extra, something additional to supplement, or is the goal to eventually phase out the day job and go like full time on like a solo consulting thing?
I think the goal is to phase it out. At the beginning, it was just to get some extra cash. I had that. I had guitar teaching, but it's still exchanging your time for money.
Hmm.
So, yeah, the goal is to eventually still do that, but then be able to choose your clients a bit more, like take on the really cool ones, and
Yep.
then also productize it a bit as well. So, replace the day job and have some sort of product, which then gives you the money to work on even cooler stuff and make cooler products.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the dream anyway.
I think that's where, niching down and really getting focused on like one type of client who has a very common repeatable need. That's where that can become a lot easier, I think. Not only to like market and grow the business, but to be able to deliver it in a repeatable way to a point where you can just train an assistant to like, follow this process, because we've done it 100 times.
Definitely. And I was thinking about this yesterday as I was going through all my notes. And I think one thing I want to really focus on, something that I've got experience in, is moving people from Notion to ClickUp. I was like, because that's the whole thing going on there. You've got the wiki side, you've got the tasks, you've got so many things to think about. You've got to learn ClickUp. And I thought, I've been through all of that. So that would be a really
Yeah.
good thing. I need to see if the demand's there, but that would be a really good thing, I think, to niche down on and productize and help people with that specific flow.
Yeah, I like it. As we start to wrap up here, I mean, how are you finding these clients? Like, how do you get in touch with folks who might be switching from Notion to ClickUp, or they're trying to adopt ClickUp with their team? I don't think it's a common like job posting, right? Like, I need help setting up my ClickUp, or
Yeah.
how do you like where would you find folks who currently have that need?
So I haven't been searching actively. It's all been inbound, just because, again, so we're talking about balance. I don't have too much time to do,
Hmm.
like, I could take on one big project in a month, or take on a few calls, like a couple of calls a week, and that'll be busy enough. So it's all been inbound, and lots of it is focus. So I'm focusing on Twitter. I'm reposting to LinkedIn because everyone's like, yeah, go search for people there. But I think that's where I need to do the outbound, because the things I'm posting on LinkedIn aren't hitting, but Twitter, they are. But it's probably because it's the same content I'm just reposting.
Hmm.
But most of it is on Twitter. And then I'm known now for ClickUp. So I think I officially became a ClickUp ambassador, and then started working with them a
Okay.
bit more closely. And yeah, so people will tag me. Someone will say, I need help with ClickUp. Who can I talk to? And then someone will tag me, and I'll go, oh, yep. So I'll DM them and jump in that way.
I think it's great. Again, I was talking to Jason Resnick about this, and I think it's also another running theme with most coaches these days. Is like becoming associated with. In your case, it's like it's with ClickUp, right? Like, oh, this person needs help with ClickUp. Will is the guy for that, right?
Yeah.
Just that brand association. But it doesn't even need to be like a tool. It could just be, a concept, or some commonly known topic, like, oh, that's the person for that.
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, if I needed help with note making or note taking, I'd go Nick Milo. He's the note making
Hmm.
guy. Like that's what he does. He's known for that. So I don't want to, again, I don't want to be stuck in a box. I don't want to make the same mistake I made last time, going, I'm the ClickUp guy. It helps with
Hmm.
that. But I've also just finished taking a course called the iCore Framework by Paperless Movement. And so I've just gone all through that. And that's really interesting because it gives you a more holistic framework of your productivity system. And then once you kind of
Hmm.
sussed it out yourself, you could then help people with that. So there's another thing bubbling on the side that I'm thinking about helping people with and branching out a bit more. Again, ClickUp and then productivity stuff.
Yeah. The productivity dad, that's the website. We'll get everything linked up, and it's really interesting to see this like transformation, and kind of all the possible roads that you can take with this. So
Hey,
Will, thanks for taking the time. This has been really cool to hear your story here.
thanks so much. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
Cool. Speak to you soon.
See you.